All right. Welcome to GUFON, everybody. I'm your host, Rich, and it is Wednesday, A925. Welcome. Hope you're having a good day towards your evening into the later evenings for some of you on the other continents. Tonight, we're going to talk about, well, the new Tic Tac. A little bit. I mean, that's the thumbnail. That got you here, kind of. That's just a piece of what we're doing tonight. And then we'll talk about, the rest of ufology and what people are thinking and what, Bledsoe's saying and what Whitley Strieber's doing and Zondo and the Clown Gang, ba-ba-da-ba-da, Schumer and the laws, dee-dee-dee-dee. And then we'll talk about the drone show, ba-ba-ba-doo. Is it still going on? Of course it is. And we'll talk about other countries with their drones, beep-ba-dee-ba-dee. And then we'll go home. All that in 8 minutes. What are we going to do for the next 52? Well, 82. Depends how long I can go. I forgot to put the heating pad on my hamstring. I tore my hamstring stretching. It's pretty bad. I don't know how bad. It just happened like an hour ago. And I got to tell you, it's hard to take a step now. It sucks. I put icy hot on it. Anyway. One thing after another. They're gonna kill me one way or their mother. They're gonna get me. They're gonna murder me and get me out of ufology now. So who's here tonight? What do you guys want to do? You want to do a little roll call? Cindy Krause is here. How you doing? David Wilcox, not Wilcock. Welcome to the show. Burning the Veil with Anjali. Welcome to this show. Beza Beza, what do you say? How do you be? Welcome to the show. Teresa Pulio, how you doing? Welcome to the show. Kelly Lewis, re-upped her membership. Thank you, KL, for hanging out and re-upping the mem. That's right. YouTube can become a mem of GUFON. All the links are in the show description. You can even support with PayPal, Cash App, Super Chat. All the links are, where. Yikes. Thanks. Thank you. LAGZ. Abandon. Welcome to the show. Marcel. Goofonian Metal Head. Welcome to the show. Marcel. Oh, I already did that. Prince Edward County. How you doing, man? How you doing? Where does that say from? In 360 degrees. Welcome. It had a little thing covering up your 360 degrees. God dang it, this hurts. Bernie Muro is here. What do you say there? And the funny thing is, like, I tomorrow I have to do auditing, and I was gonna do something that might require some walking, and now I don't know if I could walk. We'll find out tomorrow. Hey, Jason Summerow, how you doing, man? Hope Rich drops in the live launch of ULA in 20 minutes. Oh. Well, let's do that. Of course. Let me pull that up before I forget. Thank you. Oh, I was supposed to remake the thumbnail for tonight, too, and I didn't do that. That's right. The launch. The launch. Live. Here we go. Launch of Amazon's Project Kuiper. Here we go. All right. Thank you for bringing that up. I did not remember. Let's see if this is this the one you want? This is it? There's no volume. Does it matter? We need volume, right? I wonder if we'll get it. Yeah. Here we go. Right? This is it? The ULA. Well, this isn't the UL. Oh, it is the ULA, United Launch Alliance. Atlas V. All right. Well, we'll keep it here. It says nothing about when the launch is happening, but I guess about 20 after.
This is Atlas Mission Control with T-minus 4 minutes in holding.
4
Atlas
minutes.
rockets have launched many of the world's vital space assets.
Thank you, Jason.
Let's take a look at the impressive legacy of the Atlas family of rockets.
If I didn't say your name, it doesn't mean I don't love you. It means we're starting the show. Let's take a look at this. This is exciting. Thank you. I love rocket launches. I just, you know.
spacecraft on board.
As the inaugural flight of the Atlas V lifted off on August 21st, 2002, it carried with it the dreams and aspirations of thousands of rocket pioneers who had laid the foundation that made it possible.
Well, this is the Associated Press, so I can play this all day.
The Atlas legacy of innovation and accomplishment that has been vital to our nation.
So about 3 minutes, they're going to be launching. We'll keep this up.
Named after the mighty giant of Greek mythology who carried the world on his shoulders, Atlas was conceived as a weapon and a deterrent, but evolved into a system that pushed the envelope with trailblazing innovation and steadfast reliability. At the request of the Air Force, Charlie Bossert and his San Diego-based engineering team began work on a demanding set of requirements to design an intercontinental ballistic missile capable of delivering a 1,500-pound warhead to a target 5,500 miles away.
Damn.
Their answer, which became known as Atlas, was the top national priority in 1955, as the race with the Soviets engulfed the country. On June 11, 1957, the first Atlas flight lifted off from Space Launch Complex 14 at Cape Canaveral, Florida. The flight ended 38 seconds later, but Bossert's team had taken the first step and proven the structural integrity of their innovative pressure-stabilized steel tank. Complete success for the Air Force and Bossert's team would come just 5 months later, on December 17, 1957.
Damn.
Go, honey, keep going, baby.
Can you imagine? Here we are, 70 years later.
Though the Soviets had beaten the U.S. to space with the launch of Sputnik in October 1957,
you'd think we would have a better way of getting off the planet.
Later, when Atlas 10B delivered his holiday message of peace.
These things are buildings
180 miles above Earth. Known as Project SCORE, the orbiting Atlas booster became the world's first communication satellite.
It's almost beautiful. It's like artwork too, to me, you know? I look at science as art as well as science, you know? I'm weird that way. I don't know. Do you feel that way? Like it's almost an art? It's beautiful how they invent things, create things, and
on September
perform
9th, 1959,
what they're
Atlas
designed to
12D
do.
Became America's first operational ICBM,
beautiful
following
world.
launch from California's Vandenberg Air Force Base.
I just love the innovation.
In all,
and
350 Atlas ICBMs were built and stood on operational alert through 1965.
Wow. That's a lot.
The surplus boosters were refurbished and used by the Air Force, the Army, the Navy, and NASA. The last refurbished booster was launched in 1995. By the early 1960s, the Atlas booster had made the transition from missile to space launch vehicle, and 1962 proved to be a pivotal year.
Hell yeah.
Riding atop an Atlas booster in Project Mercury's Friendship 7 capsule, John Glenn became the first American to orbit the Earth on February 20th, 1962.
I remember that. That was before I was born.
Carrying astronauts Scott Carpenter, Wally Schirra, and Gordon Cooper set the stage for the Gemini flights and the Apollo missions to the moon. Later that year, Atlas scored another first when Atlas 179D, equipped with an Agena upper stage, lifted off from Space Launch Complex 12 at Cape Canaveral.
Say word.
Its payload, NASA's Mariner 2 became the first successful interplanetary spacecraft. 1962 also marked the debut of the Centaur upper stage, the first to harness the power of liquid hydrogen. The Centaur upper stage, to this day, remains a hallmark of the Atlas system. Together, with its Agena and Centaur upper
We had
stages,
4 minutes
the Atlas
yet.
booster went on to play a significant role in America's exploration of
Donnie
the solar
Creel's
system,
here, everybody.
launching virtually
Hello,
every
Derek
exploration
Kennedy.
mission in the 1960s
Thor,
and 1970s.
Stingray 427, man.
Spacecraft that
How's
was launched
everybody?
from Earth
Welcome.
That had enough energy to escape the entire solar system.
We're getting
During the late
a
1970s and
Dan
1980s,
Peters. How are you, man?
Atlas continued
We're
to play
getting the,
important roles in the development of our nation's space
a
program.
rundown on the history of the rocket.
In addition to building
the
our
Atlas
national
rocket.
security
Moonhawk, how
presence
you
in
doing?
space, converted Atlas boosters also launched the Air Force's Navstar demonstration satellites, leading to the navigation system known today as GPS. In the late 1980s, General Dynamics saw an opportunity to bring commercial payloads back to expendable launch vehicles, and on July 25, 1990, AC-69, the first Atlas I, ushered in a new commercial era for Atlas. The commercial era brought 8 new Atlas configurations over a 14-year span, each carrying an operational payload.
Hey,
The commercial program has enabled breakthroughs in communications, meteorology, broadcast technology, navigation, and national security. In 1995, development of the Atlas III vehicle began. In a bold move, the Atlas booster engine system was replaced with the powerful RD-180, which generates 860,000 pounds of thrust and has throttle capability resulting in a smoother and more efficient ride.
cut me out. I don't know why. There we are. So,
Making its debut
almost
from
done.
Space
We're
Launch
almost at the
Complex
launch.
36 on May 24th,
1 minute.
2000, the Atlas III provided a
it said 4
substantial
minutes up here,
performance
but they've already
improvement
reached
over the
that. There
Atlas
must be a delay or
2AS.
something.
Reliability was increased by reducing the number of engines from 8
Whoops.
to 2,
We are
and
live.
the elimination of 5 staging events, as well as more than 10,000 parts.
While we're all looking at this, let me check some shit out.
1998, the Atlas team embarked on a development project for the
Make
United
sure I
States
got
Air
the show
Force that would
ready.
forever change the Atlas vehicle.
And the RD-180 engine roars to life and liftoff with a maiden flight of
We
the
have a
Lockheed Martin
liftoff.
Atlas rocket with a Hot Bird 6
Oh, the
spacecraft on board. for
UFO.
Paris
The
Range.
Atlas rocket.
For more than 40 years,
Teaming up.
Atlas vehicles had relied on the pressure-stabilized steel tank developed by Charlie Bossert and his team. In a departure from conventional thinking, the Atlas V development replaced the tank with a structurally stable common core booster. In addition to vehicle modifications, the team took a new approach to processing and launch. Atlas V processing is done vertically, and the mobile service tower has been replaced by a mobile launch platform, which carries the entire assembled vehicle to the launch pad, ready to fuel and launch. The Atlas V is expanded to multiple payload fairing and solid rocket booster configurations, as well as re-establishing a launch capability from the West Coast at Vandenberg Air Force Base.
This is long.
The
What's
Atlas
going
vehicle
on,
has a
man?
long legacy of
Okay.
accomplishment.
Well, I'm going to put this on a pause for a minute. Not really pause.
This
All right.
record of success, which is nearly
But this has gone way over 4 minutes, and I think there's something going on. So I'm going to keep this on my left eye and do the show over here, but I'll... We got to do something. We just can't sit here and watch... Oh, it's over now?
59 Zulu. Roger. 0059 Zulu.
Jesus. Thanks for letting us know.
ALC, LC. Go ahead. Please set the clock for a new T0 of 0059 Zulu. Roger.
What clock?
RC, LC.
Oh,
Go for RC.
that's
Please
the new
coordinate with
takeoff,
range
8:59.
20
I knew there was a
59
delay.
Zulu.
That'll be the end of the show right there. Well, we'll see what happens. That's BS, man. You know? Why? I don't get it. Well, they're doing our pre-flight check routine and just not everything checked out. You know, I know there's thousands of components that need to be checked up on, pre-check, double check, triple check. But it gets really old Remember when I drove down there last year? What if I drove down there and they canceled it? I would have driven 2 hours and 20 minutes for nothing. And it kind of was for nothing, really. I didn't get close enough because it took off before I got there. I was just far enough away you could still hear the sonic babooms and see the flash, but I wanted to get right up in it. That's the thing about going. It's like you don't know. All right. So what I'm going to do is start the show with this Tic Tac that Jeremy Corbell brought to ufology in the world. Now, I'm going to use Weaponized to give you the information because I was very forgetful today and I forgot to watch this. So I'm just being honest. But it happens, and we'll watch it together. We'll go through Corbell's show. They're going to talk about this Tic Tac that was supposedly recorded 23. And I'm going to pull it up for you so we can start. Not waste any time. Get right to it tonight. Even though I did waste all those minutes waiting for the rocket. All right, go.
Hope springs eternal. When love is in the air, birds and bees are coming out. And when UFO videos filmed by the military suddenly blossom, right?
It's great, man. It's another kind of point of reflection for us. Military videos have done a lot for the UFO topic over the last 5 years.
Yeah, and we've released a lot of them. I mean, a lot of them come from us. That's kind of our thing.
That's right. Obtain and release. If we obtain stuff and it seems safe to put out as journalists, it's our duty to report on it, especially when we have multiple witnesses and people that go on record with us, even if they don't show their face.
Yeah, I mean, as we've said before on this program, a lot of people send us videos, and it's a ball of light, sea of inky darkness, things moving around, drones, whatever it is. And it's always interesting to receive those. We like them. But the military video, things filmed by our military and analyzed by our military, kind of carries a special weight because it's, where it comes from, the kinds of platforms it's recorded on or from. When they say it really is unidentified, it's doing things that we haven't seen before, that packs a little more credibility, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, military footage has really kind of shaped the global narrative. And you're right, we have been a big part of that. The reason why I think is that there's a lot of trust in there. First of all, you have sensor platforms that look at things other than just optically. So you're looking at thermal signatures, you're looking at radar. When you have corroborative evidence, like we did in 2019, 4 pieces of corroborative evidence, it's amazing. But basically, when you get these, you have trained observers, people that are taking a risk by going to journalists or putting it out. And then we have Bono.
Is it me? I mean, you guys know I have this here, right? You got, right? Okay. But I was on there.
To the east, but notice it's progressed a little bit
so
closer
look,
to the pad. But
now there's storms,
that we
clouds.
can clear this cumulus cloud rule, and that's if the tops of these showers get lower and the showers begin to dissipate. So the two ways they could either push farther away from the pad, or they could weaken, where if the tops get low enough, that standoff distance actually gets smaller and smaller. So in other words, they can be farther away from the pad, or excuse me, they can get closer to the pad, and if the showers are weaker, then we don't have to be concerned about them. So those are the two.
Give this guy another cup of coffee. He can't speak.
Ways that we could clear the cumulus cloud rule. We're also monitoring the winds as well. And
okay, I'm going to have a feeling this is going to be rubbed.
We're still
scrubbed.
Winds in the upper 20s to low
so it's going to be scrubbed. You'll see. It looks like those clouds are moving and being pushed in further from the east towards the west, which is odd in this rotation of clouds. So if it covers the pad, they ain't launching. They want a video of the whole thing. So 8:59 is the tip-off time. Okay, let's go back to Weaponized. I'll keep you guys. I have it on. I can hear everything go when I see it, so we're good. There he is. Shabam.
Unified footage that shows things in other spectrums, and I think that's what's really changed the narrative over time. It's got the insight, or the interest from Congress. It's got the interest from other people in the military. It also provides a sense of permission to talk about this at high levels. So yeah, military footage has done a lot for the UFO topic, more than I think people give it credit for.
Well, let's take an example. Tic Tac. The Tic Tac incident off the Southern California coast, recorded in 2004, U.S. Navy aviators Dave Fravor, they encountered this thing. You and I had reported on it for a while.
Here we go. So there is activity that Stingray 427 man and others have noted. So we'll keep an eye on it. I'm just going to stay on Weaponized. If anything changes, I know you guys are on it too. So here we go. Whoops. I'm sorry. I'm just trying to do this right, and I keep hitting the wrong play button. Go.
Boom. It's explosive. The power of that video and Dave Fravor's testimony made that, I think, the most consequential UFO of all time, in a sense, because there was something to see and yet testimony to back it up. And it's.
But we didn't see anything. We didn't see a thing.
I know that people have analyzed that video over and over again, but really it remains unidentified to this day. And later on in this conversation today, we're going to see more Tic Tacs, but that's just one of the examples that's been released that really.
For those who never heard me say this before, but there are no other Tic Tac videos. Everything we have seen is an airplane out of focus, reflecting the paint at a certain time of day, facing the camera person at a certain type of way. Because you can see, even though it looks like there's just one dash of a white whatever line, you can see off to the side a flash. And then on the other side, hey, why is there a flash right next? Because that's the wings out of focus. It's just the way the camera and people, it's the setting. It's a whole bunch of stuff. Variables. Yeah, that's the word. A lot of variables and settings and the type of camera being used. My goodness. Everybody in this field should take a course on cameras just to know how they work. You know, the amazing misinformation you get with a digital camera is remarkable. I didn't believe it until I saw it myself. That's why it's terrible for ufology. But it's better. It's all we got. It's all we got.
Really changed the
narrative. We've got film, 35 millimeter, but we don't have anything better.
On the UFO topic, gimbal, go fast. We also released some photos way back. You'll recall you and I were traveling around in 2018, going to these UFO conferences, and had reported to people, U.S. Navy pilots, Oceania on the East Coast, are seeing unknown objects every single day.
Right.
Every single day. And
for 2
people
years
thought we were making it up. And then,
okay. You know, guys. Okay, they're doing the final status check on the rocket launch. But what these guys are talking about here is very frustrating for someone like me, because they're acting like there was evidence of the UFOs every day, and there isn't any, except for one video they released, or, the Go Fast and the other two. Go fast, go home, and go away. I mean,
ignite to lift the rocket off the pad.
Oh, I thought that was happening now.
Shortly after liftoff, the rocket begins a pitch over to.
Oh, okay. They're just telling us how it's going to happen. All right.
You have somebody in the Combat Information Center typically filming a screen. So
this has been my point the whole time since the David Fravor 2016 reveal that he supposedly did maneuvers with the Tic Tac UFO. And don't you remember, it was just David Fravor first for like months. And people were asking questions that needed answers. Like, hey, you said there were other people who've seen these things. Oh, yeah. His wingman or woman You know, and then they bring in Alex Dietrich a little later in the game. Like, okay, you didn't believe Fravor 100%. Now we're going to corroborate it with her bullshit. You know? I didn't buy her story. I didn't buy what she was saying. I still think the entire thing has to do with these drones that we're seeing. Yeah, I think the Tic Tac is probably real. But if it's, look, 20 years ago, man, 21, if that was China 21 years ago and this story is real, see, let's backtrack. Maybe I need to retract what I just said. Here's the deal. All right. I just figured something out. When they came out with this story in 2016, whenever it was, they are talking about an incident that happened in 2004. And then you go ahead 15 years later to Ryan Graves and his flyboy buddies saying they're seeing him every day for 2 years. Every day? Yeah. Right? If China had, or even Russia, but I'm staying with China because Russia didn't have it, I don't think. If it is, and what we're seeing today is what Fravor saw in 2004, is what Ryan Graves and his flyboy buddies saw for 2 years, and this is it. We're seeing what they saw. Right? No. Because they're not Tic Tacs. Remember, they all said they saw Tic Tac UFOs. Did Ryan Graves say he saw? No, he didn't see anything. He saw radar hits. Tic Tacs. So, what we're seeing today cannot be the Tic Tacs. However, it could be the technology of the Tic Tac from 2004. And if that was China 21 years ago, flying around with that type of technology at that time, that means they've had it for decades before, probably, or just discovered what they found, and then all of a sudden, they're mass producing 100 Tic Tacs. Like, really? Something's wrong with the story. Because we have still yet to see a Tic Tac. I don't think we've seen it. We've seen what they tell us is a Tic Tac. Okay? But I don't think what we're seeing are Tic Tacs at all. I think they're heat signatures or something of technology in the drone department. I'm not sure. But
just like the USS Omaha was filmed on this, it was filmed on a screen, but also we got some original clips, but that's, FLIR, forward-looking infrared. So it's not grainy. That's the other thing we should address. I know people say that, but they don't know what they're looking at. This is thermal. This is
right. It's grainy because it's thermal. Oh my God.
Heat signature. This is where we have a better optic system, especially at night. So it's not just like a light you're seeing. You should be seeing the propulsion system, not just the Tic Tac shape. And you're not seeing that because it doesn't exist. Now, when you target at the same distance planes on known routes, which is something that this operator did, right? You see the cross of a normal aircraft. You see the normal jets. You see all that stuff. In this footage, you don't. So it's not grainy. It's actually giving you more information than if you had a normal camera.
Okay. All right. Well, we got to give them the benefit of the doubt at first. Let's hear what else he says before they show it.
We should point out going into this, and we're about to see the video, these guys in the U.S. Navy who are out there off the coast of Southern California are seeing these things all the time.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not just here and there. They don't always get to record images of these things, but it is not uncommon for them to see these unknowns popping in and out of the water.
Hold on. Come on. You can't say that to us and then say, oh yeah, but they don't get them on camera all the time. Look, I get it. When the UFO comes out of water, they could be facing this way, that way, the other way. What I want to see, and I think we all need to see, are the chasing down and figuring out what they're looking at. I would love to see a video, because this would make it more realistic than them just showing us on a target. I want to know how they got there. I want to see them get there. And I want to watch everything, but they won't show us that because you know what they'll say. Too much sensitive information. They could black out the screen if they want. I want to watch. And they could block out any sensitive, things that they're saying on the radio. Look, they could do it. They just don't want to. And that bothers me. Either it's alien, okay, or it's a rogue group, a faction of people. A faction? I don't know. I feel it. Let me ask you guys one question. Could it be Germany? You remember how we took all their scientists and created NASA, right? What if they hid stuff, like hid behind a wall? They gave somebody instructions to go, hey, if we're not back in a year, here's where the goods are. Could that have, I don't know if that could have happened. And they didn't give us all the knowledge. They gave us most of it. And they still had an allegiance to Germany, maybe. I don't know. Nothing makes sense in this field. And they did that on purpose to us. They confused us. They watered down and diluted every truth with as many lies. It's sad.
Or zipping around or doing things that they shouldn't be able to do, correct?
Yeah, it's almost like a joke. Some of the guys on these ships say we're almost immune to it. We don't even report it sometimes up the chain of command. It's not a direct threat to us. We're on mission for something else, or we're just moving out. Like in this case, we're moving out from like a, really unhostile area. It's just off of the coast of California, our favorite sweet spot for UFOs.
Well, we know it's been happening since 2004, at least. We know it was happening in 2019. And we know that as recently as 2023, it was going on as well, because that's what we're about to get into, correct?
Yeah. So this is February 15th, 2023, warning area 291, which is just off the coast of California, right in that sweet spot, where a lot of the activity was seen on the West Coast. The platform that this is filmed on is the Star Sapphire, which is the same thing as the USS Omaha. The USS Jackson is the ship in 2023 in the Combat Information Center where this was filmed. So again, the Sapphire is it's a multi-spectral imaging system. So it's got FLIR. It's got, a couple different kind of imaging systems it has, but this is at night. So they're using FLIR.
Okay.
So basically in 2023, the U.S. Navy encountered 4 Tic Tac shaped UAP off the coast of California. One is kind of featured because that's what it punches into in this footage. And it's personnel from the USS Jackson in the Combat Information Center that filmed it. One of the vehicles of unknown origin was observed exiting the water. So we'll talk about that. Not on the camera. This is how it got sighted in the first place. They're up on the bridge and someone sees a craft come up out of the water, almost like doing a systems check, just slowly rising up out of the water. And then it transitioned directly into flight, which is, demonstrating kind of what on your Netflix show it showed, which is true transmedium capability, moving from water to air and maybe beyond seamlessly. And you'll see there's no flight control surfaces. There's no conventional propulsion signatures like heat plumes, exhaust.
That's in the water.
The UAPs were detected.
All right. Let's not forget, though. It's scrubbed.
For an extended turnaround with the next launch attempt under review.
Roger, LD. All right, team, direct operation 60. Or excuse me.
Yeah, they scrubbed it, I think. I think they just said that, right? Let's go back a few seconds here. Let's hear what they said. Yeah, they took it off the top.
LC, this is LD on one.
Go LD.
I am directing a launch scrub for today's operations. Please proceed with preparations for an extended turnaround with the next launch attempt under review.
All right, so they scrubbed it. All right. Sorry, guys. Well, we tried. And thank you for, at least letting me know there was an attempt to take off. That would have been cool, though. We'll get the next one if we're alive. Hey, better safe than sorry, man. It's a lot of money they're playing with. And careers and everything else. All right. So they're showing us and talking about this Tic Tac, which it looks just like the one from 03. So I always thought the one in 03 was some sort of drone. The big ones that they're not for people to fly on, but they're military drones, not a little one like I have or even a little bigger than that. Yeah, they're pretty big. So I think that's what they caught, but this is FLIR image at night. And if there's a heat source from the, I don't know how it doesn't pick it up. It should be registering on that FLIR footage, and it's not. So then you think, okay, well, maybe the object turned off their engines. Well, there would still be a heat signature if it was hot at all, right? Okay. So maybe it's a drone, like the new drones we're seeing. A Tic Tac drone flying around at night. I don't know. So pretty exciting stuff, right? Go.
And observed, this is very fascinating, in an instantaneous synchronized departure,
pretty
all
cool.
4 of them. We know it's not camera artifacts, which we'll get into later. And look, again, the operator, the purpose, the capability, the origin, the intent are all unknown. And these craft, what we're about to show you, is a true UAP. It's an unidentified object.
I think we should play the video, and our listeners, our audience, should pay attention to the reactions of crew members when they're seeing this in real time. We'll play it through, and then we'll take a look at it again.
If they say splash, splash, then I'm going to freak out. Then I'm having deja vu.
Wouldn't surprise me, I tell you. You call it the VVSS team.
Yeah, like 22,000 feet.
That shit took off earlier.
Do you see that?
Wouldn't surprise me.
Like this screen is, it's like there's some sort of flashing going on, right? You see that? But when it does that, it looks like there's something protruding out both sides of this thing. Anyway.
You call it the VVSS
See
team.
that? Like wings that we can't see.
Yeah, like 22,000
Like,
feet.
is it going in forward or left, right? I don't know. He explains it all, though. That I know. I've seen this
that
part.
shit took off earlier.
So first you kind of see this wide pan, and there's a couple targets that are in that area, and then it kind of punches in to that rectangle, and it appears the object comes up, but it doesn't. I believe that the camera is auto tracking from the bottom left object, so it doesn't actually rise up in space. So, but the targeting system punches in, and you can see it's not artifacts because it's.
I have to say that was very nice of him not to say that it was coming up and rising out of the water. That's what we were seeing. He actually was very truthful and said that was the camera tilting and following and tracking the object.
It's getting these little white X's.
Yeah, so what does
I thought it was rising.
Mean? What does that little blotch mean that's appearing? It shows that it's moving. It really is moving, right?
Well, yeah, and mainly what it shows is the system is trying to auto track. It's trying to find the target like it's a real target in space time. It's out there. It's an object.
At night.
And it is loitering at least. At this moment, we have to really look at the designation of the numbers and see, like, is it slewing at all to see the movement? So it's undetermined for me if it's loitering at this moment, but at some point, all four, they do move, and this is the reports that came to us and verified on radar, is that they all shoot off at the same time. So again, just to kind of paint the picture, somebody's looking out on the bridge.
So David Wilcox, not Wilcock, is saying, following another jet? Yeah, I thought that, but where's the heat signature? Now, is the heat signature there, but we don't see it? It's because they're right on it, like straight on. Are we not seeing it from the view, the perspective? Because they're like on the same plane, the same altitude. You know what I mean? So they're head on. I don't know about that, but I think they would see a plume of heat.
They see one of these craft come up out of the water and rise up.
Unless they're lying, right? How would they, number one, what would they be lying about? How can they lie? It's FLIR footage. It's legit. Unless they faked it? Faking? No, this isn't fake. If the military ever got caught faking this kind of stuff, forget about it. Oh my God. Right? So it's not faking. Wait a minute. What if it is faking? And they are faking it because they think we wouldn't know, we wouldn't believe that they would actually do it. So why would they fake? If they faked it, why? To mislead us into thinking we're seeing UFOs? When it's not, it's just a plane? What'd they do? Remove the heat signature? Come on. This is a real military video of something that doesn't have a heat signature, using FLIR footage at night and allegedly tracking it, following it, pacing it. It's pretty cool. I think this is good so far.
Run over to their
David.
radar, and in fact, they do see 4 hard targets, like distinguished
Oh yeah, that's
target.
right. There's 4 of them. Not just one. There's 4. They just followed this. The thing just followed one. That's right. My bad. Ouch.
Not ghost targets. Like, they're there. They then move over to this thermal camera, Sapphire, and just like the USS Omaha, and they're able to see big picture and then punch in. And they're kind of like making jokes as they talk about it, which shows you that they see these things sometimes. They're talking about, quick, scramble the jets. They're kind of uncomfortably making jokes. And then somebody goes, well, it wouldn't surprise me, I tell you. And then
that shape kind of looks familiar, doesn't it?
Yeah.
What would you call that? Kind of tic-tacky?
Yeah, that's what they called them. They called them the 2023 Tic Tacs. And the shape itself, it's not quite spherical. It is pretty much identical to what you see with the Tic Tac UFO released, filmed in 2004. This is a kind of more modern version, probably lower altitude because of the camera system. But yeah, it's shaped. The signature is shaped like a Tic Tac in the same area.
There is no shot recorded by these guys for what we've seen so far of all 4 of them on the screen at the same time, though, is there?
Not in this footage is what I can say. I'm trying my best to continue the investigation and kind of get more footage. There appears that there is other footage, and I'm trying to get it. I know it pisses people off.
All right, let's go up here. Let's see what he says. I think this is like the report of it.
Indicative of shared communication. This is really nailed home to me by the service members. These 4 objects were up there, and they all moved at the same time. Just whoosh, gone. And that's documented through our interviews with them.
The following is a witness interview of the USS Jackson UAP encounter.
Cool. We only see lights because it's at nighttime. It's always at nighttime. But to see the lights emerging from water. So I go out to the bridge wing. I'm noticing things and lights on the horizon, and like city lights or any other ships that are out there. So seeing a light that is lifting up, you can see it. I know the difference between a light on the horizon coming up and a light coming out of the water. When you've been on the water more in your life than you haven't been, you know the difference. This thing was coming up, and I wasn't shocked that I was seeing it. I was shocked I was sharing the experience. Us looking at the same exact display of sapphire, but when we start talking about all of the objects, all 4 objects, and what we witnessed was all 4 of them, all in synchronous, jetting off into the abyss. All 4, all timed together, and all left. And we were like, holy shit. And they were all, maybe the second they left, maybe 3-4 seconds pass, I run to my station and I look at my radar and they're all gone. They're all off radar. And I was like, that's it. They all zoomed off. But it's clear that they're in communication with one another and synchronized, like 3, 2, 1 countdown, let's all go type thing. Unless there's some level of like one entity is controlling all 4 and then they all leave at the same time. But yeah, they all left exactly at the same time.
And that's on record.
Now, that sounds like drones. You know? Sounds like programmed drones. You can program, I don't know how many, but you've seen the shows. You can program to do things in sync. So are we seeing drone technology? And are we seeing it being shown off? Like if it is China and they're showing our Navy, our military, what they don't have. Like, nah, we can do this and you can't do it. Right? Are they taunting? Because that's what it feels like. Not to me, but when we are having a drone invasion over our country, New Jersey and other places that were getting them on the daily for 3 months, still going on. And nobody has an explanation, or they're not giving us one. Why? Is it because it is China? Trump, I think took away or is demanding China give back over something like 150,000 acres of farmland here in the United States. I haven't looked. I just saw the headline. I haven't read the story. But yeah, because they're buying up land all around our military installations, if I could speak. Right? So I don't know if that's what he told them to, I don't know if they bought it, but if they bought it, it's their land. I don't understand what's going on. I'll have to look at that. But that's an interesting headline. And why we allowed the sale of all that land so close to our military installations. Well, you know who allowed it. Obama, Biden, all those people from the other side. That side. End of ufology. What's Jeremy have to say about these interviews?
Recorded, documented, and I hope when that person's out of the military, it's really about not wanting to show their face because of what's happened to David Grush, what's happened to a number of people that came forward, but they're willing to testify. That's on record. and you will be seeing their face in the future.
And we should. And we should. That doesn't mean they're not cowards. If they want to hide their face, they can. I get it. I would. Yeah. I wouldn't tell anybody. If I was in the military, I wouldn't tell anybody anything I saw. No way. And if I was outside on the deck with my Navy boys and we all see something, hey, Richie, do you see that? I'd be like, see what? Come on, man. I saw you gazing at it. I don't know what you're talking about, bro. That's the answer I would give. I mean, I say that now, but until the experience happens, I don't know what I'll do. Be honest, I don't. I don't know. But it's weird, right? The guy said, the witness stated, he's been on boats more than he's been on land. And he knows when something is coming up out of the water and when something is just being launched from the water. He knows the difference. And he said these came out of the water in sync, and then they went back into the water all at the same time. And within a few seconds, he runs back to his radar to see if he can see them, where they're heading. Not a blip. They're all gone. Now, I think that when he said 2 or 3 seconds, it's probably more like 10 to 20. You really do lose track of time when you're in a situation like that. When you're seeing something, time flies. When your adrenaline's going, when I thought I was being followed and recorded by that one guy, and the spy guy, and I'm on the phone with my friend, and I said, should I go over there? And I thought it was 20 seconds or so, but it was actually almost a minute and a half. By the time I got up and went over there and he was gone. I thought it was only seconds, 20 seconds. I'm like, he's gone. I was only 10 seconds, 20 seconds. What was it? It was 90 seconds. So we've got witnesses to something that was seen with the naked eye. What did they see? Does anybody know what they saw with their naked eye? A light in the sky. Okay? That's it. Right? Or did we get... Yeah, he said he saw it come out of the ocean. And other people. So they're all going to come out. They're going to show their faces. And I think if you're a whistleblower, you need to have evidence. Like the thing you are describing and saying you saw, I think at this point in history, they need to have evidence. And I'm just going to say it now. This isn't good. This isn't good evidence. First of all, they keep talking about 4. Remember the other video? There's a whole fleet of them over there. What'd they do? I'll just focus on the 1. Hey, these 4 came out of the water. We just got 1. Why? Because they're lying. They're there. They just don't want to show it to us. Or we're being lied to. What we're looking at isn't what really happened. And all the shit you hear in the background are guys acting like they're seeing something. Could it be that? Watch. I'm going to act like I'm acting. Here we go. I'm going to see these 4 objects. Oh, John. Hold on. Do you see that? Dude. Guys, get on the deck. There's 4 objects. Whoa. Hold on. It's not that hard. It's not that hard. Just focus on the 1. Forget the other 3. The 1. Oh, my goodness. You thought I was going to do the Elon Musk Nazi salute? It's not that hard to act like that. These guys see shit for real. No, they do. I know they do. They got to. I've seen it. You've seen it. But this I don't know about anymore. I don't know. I think we're being lied to. Yeah, I don't know. It doesn't make sense. And if it doesn't make sense, it's not true. Somewhere. Come on. What are the odds that we have the same exact situation we did 20 years ago? How could that be? There's a whole fleet of them over there. Fuck them. Get the one. But there's no, the one. Over here, 4. Just the one. Why? Why? Is it? I don't know. You know what they're not doing? They're not showing us a comparison of what FLIR looks like from behind a jet, a drone, a blimp, and a balloon. Where's that evidence? Why don't they show us, dissect it, and compare it? Jesus, Rich, why don't you do that? I don't want to. It's a lot of work. I'm just surprised nobody's done it. I know I've seen a video out there where they show, somebody said, here's a jet, and this is what it looks like. But it wasn't the same. The jet was closer, and you could tell it was a jet. It wasn't 30 miles away or whatever the Tic Tac was. It was totally different, too close to tell, and I didn't like it. I still haven't seen anything that tells me there's no heat coming out the ass of this thing. For all we know, there is heat. For all we know. It's just masked somehow. Maybe? I don't know. Very frustrating. Moonhawk. Throwing down $1.20. 122 on the PayPal. Or is it 117? I don't know. Either way. Mucho gusto, Mr. Generoso. Thank you for being a continuing supporter. And I got it this time. Thank you very much, man. I appreciate that support. Anybody else want to help? You know where the links are. We do need the support, I'm telling you. But what are you going to do? You know? You're going to support the people who lie, the people who cheat, the people who steal. Where is the evidence? Moonhawk, thank you very much for supporting GUFON. Thanks for hanging. Where is it? And why is it so similar to the other video? There's a whole fleet of them over there. Just look at the one. What are you worried about? Many. So why? Why? And there is video of the other one with the fleet. And there's video here too. We're not going to see it. Why? Because they're lying. That's the only thing I could tell you. Why wouldn't you want to show everybody the other 3? Why wouldn't you want to show them all going into the ocean at the same time? Show us the evidence. They can't, because it's not what they're telling us. I promise you, when you have real evidence of something, you want to let the world know how awesome you are. You want to let them know how proud you are, how hard you worked. No, not here. This is from the military going to Jeremy Corbell, who we don't know what his involvement is. I don't know if he's a disinfo guy. I don't know if he's a shill. I don't know anymore about George Knapp and his intentions. They give us the information that was given to them. Whether they know what it really is, I gotta be honest, I don't think they do. I think they truly believe they have an unexplained object in their grasps, and they are disseminating that. And they know we can't debunk it because we didn't debunk the last one much. I think we did, though, right? Well, we didn't buy it. We're nobody bought into it. There's a lot of we're not sure out there. And we're still not sure. So this is a win for Corbell and Knapp. This is one we won't be able to figure out. But I have a sneaky suspicion there's something goofy going on by the way it was dispersed, by the narrative being used. It's exactly like it was before. We didn't buy it then. We shouldn't buy it now. And that's the bottom line. It's a good show they did, though. Weaponized. I'll put the link to that in the show description. So let's look at some things that are all over now, all over the internet. So Skywatcher on the jellyfish UFO jamming their radar. You hear about this now? Uh-huh. Yeah, I got to play this. Hold on. This is good. I love what's going on right now in ufology because it makes I feel so smart.
Sent the helo out to intercept the Tic Tac, but the first attempt failed because our radar was being jammed by the Class 7 jellyfish.
Where is that evidence? Pure speculation? We're taking the word of someone who said they had an inner soul reaction, a melding of the minds and soul and body with the balloon. So, I don't know. You believe what you want.
Where were we in the sky the first time you saw that? That was when we were 7 kilometers or so out to the northwest, 340 at that spot that we went to.
And he kept trying to climb, and it wouldn't let us.
Our helicopter launched, and about a half mile out, the helicopter stopped moving. Engines running, blades are turning, but it would not go forward. It would not go up. It would not go left or right. It was stuck there.
And I'm going to not blink while I try to look as important as I can. Good acting, Jake. You really look like you were shocked. And still shocked.
So we're kind of, imagine like a blanket above us. And it's like pressing us down.
So maybe we were in proximity to it. It was saying, don't come any higher. Yeah, because that was when I told you guys elevate, right?
As soon as we turn, controls resisting.
That's fascinating.
We were called out to intercept an object that was found on radar. We went to the location it was supposed to be at. We circled a couple of times and were requested to climb another 1,000 feet. The instrumentation started to bounce and the collective basically was frozen. I've never experienced anything like that before. Got over 4,000 hours of flight time, and this has never happened before.
So we don't know how they're jamming us. We don't know how they're turning our equipment off yet. Best guess would be a microwave signal. We're not seeing it on the frequencies we're using for our collection equipment.
Okay. Yeah, this is north, but it's not giving a reading at all. It's off.
Either it's moving supersonic out of here noiselessly, or it's flipping a switch, and now you see me, now you don't. And I kind of feel like it's the second one. So it's really looking
shut the show down by
that
accident.
We're seeing multiple classes, 3 classes today, 2, 5, and 7. Saw them
I clicked
all
on
with
that link,
binoculars
David,
and or the naked eye, which is really new for us. We've not had that experience in the last 5 years. And the fact that the class 2 and class 5 seem to be putting themselves between us and the jellyfish. We don't know what that means. We don't have enough data yet to say that conclusively. And I'm not quite sure how many times we have to see something like that till we understand that that's probably the case. Also interesting that the class 5 and class 2 took 3 or 4 days to show up.
Guys, this is just what somebody made up. This isn't something that is a repeatable thing that we keep seeing every day. Maybe an egg because it looks like from a distance, even I have an egg, right? I've got this round thing on video. I've got a triangle on video. I've got balloons that made this shape. I've got balloons that made that shape. I've seen these objects because they're double-decker balloons and objects that are at a distance, mechanical in nature. And the jellyfish, well, I have them too. And mine are balloons. So I never posted them except for one. And you guys seen it before, but didn't know it. Yeah, it was on my Seeing UFOs movie at the very end where I show my dog biting the alien. And then right after that, a video comes up of a jellyfish. And then it turns into 4 orbs and flashes. That video should go viral, but it didn't. So I got to make a short of that. But yeah, all of this is just somebody with an idea. This isn't anything repeatable. And if it is repeatable, they're not UFOs. They're balloons and mundane objects, super explainable. And you say, Dan, some are floating around funerals. Yep. People release balloons all over. Funerals, births, identity parties or gender parties, dealerships, new homes that are being built, subdivisions, new cars, dealerships with specials, balloons, new movies that are going up, a wedding, right? I mean, birthday, you want me to keep going? I mean, there's a million reasons to have balloons shaped like anything now. You can make them into anything you want, from a giraffe to a Tic Tac. It doesn't matter. They'll make it for you. Look, if you guys want to believe in the mystical world and fantasy land, that's okay. I don't have any problem with it. Just, as long as you're happy and you really believe what you're saying. Because I don't think you can believe any of what any of these people are saying. There's no way. You haven't thought it through. Think about it before you, I have a problem. I speak before I think a lot. But I get the answer. I get the truth eventually, and then I'll share it with you. I mean, that's the way it is. But you got to ask the questions. You got to be willing to be wrong and admit it when you're wrong. I do it all the time. So if I'm wrong, prove it. I'm just saying, I know I'm not wrong. All right. Here's Corbell talking about the Tic Tac on NBC. I thought you should hear this. You guys are awesome. And I don't, Thor, I don't read the chat room. But if there's anything I need to know, I don't know. I'm sorry. I have to focus on the show. If I don't, there won't be a show. It'll be just me just talking to the chat room. You know what I mean? It's like, I'm sorry. I'm trying though, I mean well.
Blooms. We don't see any signature of a normal air.
All right, here we go.
Filmed footage of UAP or UFOs, which this is. We try to get direct witness testimony to go with that. And in fact, these are senior ranking Navy officials. They don't want to go by their full identity at this time, but they will at some point.
Of course.
They're in the Combat Information Center. They get this footage. It's FLIR, forward-looking infrared. So it's black and white. What you're supposed to be seeing, we don't see. We don't see tails. We don't see thermal plumes. We don't see any signature of a normal aircraft. So that's what makes this case fascinating. We have both witnesses coming forward as well as the hardcore data and evidence.
And does that mean black is hot there? Or what's the thermal imaging and like, why do we see that Tic Tac shape?
Sure. Yeah, so this is in black hot. It can switch between the two. But what's really important about this is that the high-ranking Navy officials said, we saw one of these come up out of the water. We then went to radar and we saw 4 of them. We then took our thermal cameras and we looked at one. And when you look at a plane, it looks like a plane. This doesn't look like a plane. In fact, it looks like the Tic Tac from 2004, where Commander David Fravor chased saw 4 of them. We then took our thermal cameras and we looked at one. And when you look at a plane, it looks like a plane. This doesn't look like a plane. In fact, it looks like the Tic Tac from 2004, where Commander David Fravor chased a UFO for the United States military. So look, it's tracked on radar, it's tracked on FLIR. We're lucky to have some of this footage that you're able to see now. But what you're not seeing, Gotti, is you're not seeing the typical signatures you'd see on an aircraft. This is a very unique propulsion system. It appears from this footage. And again, people have come forward and risked to bring this footage to me and George Knapp. And as journalists, we have a duty to put it out after investigating it. I'm glad that it's out now.
Yeah, and I'm glad you're putting it out too. And again, you know, we are lucky to see those images, but what happens all the way before that is what's really important. And I mean, if you get a chance, go back and listen to what Commander Fravor said about what happened back in 2004. Opened your eyes. But Jeremy, I know you've been pushing for government disclosure on all this, like harder than anybody else I know. This administration seemed to suggest that they were going to get to the bottom of it, and yet, like, so far, we are pretty well into this. Why aren't we seeing like more tangible evidence from people that aren't just coming forward scared to lose their jobs and scared to lose their livelihoods? Like, why don't you think we're seeing like the government say, this is what's going on?
Yeah, well, that's changing. Easy way or hard way. As you know from the last...
It's been changing for 10 years. How much longer you want us to wait, snap ahead? Huh? You've turned gray since you started this grift.
When I brought the Immaculate Constellation information to Congress,
Immaculate Constipation,
we learned that there are thousands of high-quality videos that the public has not seen of UFOs.
Thousands of videos that we haven't seen. Thousands. And they can't give us one real one. Because everything we're seeing, because I'll never believe the Tic Tac is a real UFO. I'll never believe it until the evidence tells me. Here's what I want. Why? I thought that the FLIR oh shit, that's right. It was at night. Convenient, right? But when David Fravor saw his Tic Tac, what did he not do? He forgot, so he says, to put on his helmet cam because it wasn't a real mission. It was training. Does that make any sense? Like, so you're not really going to do what you're supposed to do in training and practice. You're just going to forget to turn on your helmet cam. That's something that's supposed to be in your memory that you're supposed to turn on. And he allegedly didn't turn it on. See, that's another bullshit lie. There is helmet cam. They just don't want to tell us. There's got to be. And also, on anybody else who's seen it, including Dietrich, Alex Dietrich, his wing guy. If it doesn't make sense, and I know you guys are probably telling me, well, there's a reason why he didn't turn on his helmet cam. I've never heard a reason. He just forgot, he said. That's not good. That's not good at all.
The dam is breaking.
And he said, oh, I probably forgot because it was training. Like, what? You probably forgot? Or did you?
People are coming forward, and George Knapp and I have already recorded with some of these whistleblowers, so we know that footage is coming out, those interviews. So I think it's just a matter of time that we're going to get more information on this. Look, it's a long haul thing. UFOs have been taboo for so long. It's now admitted that they're flying with impunity within our restricted airspace, and we have footage like this, military filmed UAP from a Navy warship.
Untrustworthy. Why would we believe the Navy? Why would we believe the government anyway? All of a sudden, they're the good guys because they gave you evidence? Now they're the good guys. Newsflash. Everything Jeremy Corbell was given by the government turned out to be trash. It's all been debunked. That's why he's coming out with this, because we can't debunk it. But I could tell you what we can do. We can tell you that it's still bullshit because nobody will show us anything else. And without anything else, we can't corroborate what's actually happening. Show us all four objects. They didn't do that. They didn't do it in 2004. They didn't do it in 2016 when they gave us the footage. They only gave us one, but there's a whole fleet of them. No, not for you. David Fravor didn't turn on his helmet cam. Convenient. Right? All of it is just wrong. And I can only lead you to the water. I can't make you drink it. And I don't want to. I don't want to make you drink it. But these are my thoughts. I could be 100% wrong. I'm not wrong about Corbell. Because I'm right about all the videos he's ever given us. They were all bullshit. Every one of them was debunked. You know that's true, right? Okay. So why would this be any different? Well, because we've seen these videos before. It was, the 3 videos came out. The Tic Tac was one of them. Nobody's debunked it. I don't think it is what they're telling us. I think it's bullshit because they gave it to Corbell. The government is not going to give evidence to Corbell. They didn't give it to Walter Cronkite. They didn't give it, right? They didn't give it to anybody else who demanded it. You think now, all of a sudden, they're going to start? No, they're giving us shit that looks like the real UFOs. That's what Corbell got before. That's what he has here. The Tic Tac is not on. This isn't it. Until I see a video of a Tic Tac do this, it doesn't exist. And when I watch Alex Dietrich in the few interviews that she did in the beginning, compared to how she talked at the end, she looked very uncomfortable. Like, don't fuck up. Like somebody was, joking with her. Hey, don't mess up your lines. It's like she was out there like a deer in the headlights. It looked like that to me. And I wasn't looking for it. I'm never looking for it. That's just the way it looks. Because, a hammer will see everything as a nail. But I'm not that way, I don't think. Because you know why? Because I give Corbell credit when credit is due. I give everybody credit when they deserve it, even my enemies. Because I think being fair and admitting when somebody's right, even though you don't like them, is the most honest thing you could ever do. It shows you're mature. It shows you're responsible. It shows you're going to do the right thing. That's a trustworthy individual, not someone who's going to tell you what you want to hear. It's somebody telling you something you didn't know, and it makes you uncomfortable. That's when the truth comes out. Because, shit, what? Wait, what? Are you lying? Are you lying? I wouldn't put my reputation on the line if it was a lie. And if I'm wrong, I'll admit it. These guys never admit it. Never. Well, let me take that back. I think Corbell did admit when they did the Palms 28. Remember, there was all the flares, 28 Palms, whatever. He admitted that was probably flares in the end. But then he changed his story, flip-flop, and he says, but there were 26 witnesses who said otherwise. So, I mean, so he left it like that. Very smart guy. But, if you're good and you've been around, you can see the grift. And it's sad for me. Because all the hard work Corbell and Knapp do They're being known as grifters because of Corbell. Do you think the work those guys are doing is legitimate? Put a 1 in the chat room if you think Corbell and Knapp are two legitimate researchers giving us the truth. Put a 2 if you think they're lying. I'd like to look at that later and see what you think. Because I don't know. How could they be wrong on every video that they give us? You know what I mean? That's not being naive. That's not because you were lied to. That's just not knowing your shit. And for them to give us all these videos over the last several years and none of them were legitimate UFOs, and we're still listening to them for over an hour. Look at all the 2s. Lots of 2s. No, lots of 2s. See, I'm confused too. I don't know. Put a 3 if you don't know. Yeah, maybe you could do that. Yeah. Hey, third phase of Moon's here? Oh, hey, how you doing? Check your email. We sent you a trailer to our recent documentary you might want to share with your audience. Oh! I thought, and hi, guys. Man, I was talking about you to my mom today. Yeah, wow, that is cool. Let me pull it up. Perfect timing. I'm glad because I just got finished with all that. But wait a minute. Isn't it the documentary, the trailer that it's at the end of your videos? The one with, all right, let me take a look. There it is. All right. All right, let me take a look. So it's telling me to watch it on Prime. Oh, this is a link to it. I don't... Hold on. Hold on, guys. Because I don't... Maybe this is it? Oh, here it is. I got it. Holy shit. Wow, you got Linda Moulton Howe? Oh my God. A hidden network of female journalists. I'm reading off the advertisement here. Okay, it's a new UFO documentary. It's Nexus to Disclosure. The truth is classified. And it reads, a hidden network of female journalists and activists dedicated to UFO disclosure uncovers shocking truths about the government's knowledge of ET phenomena. This documentary follows their groundbreaking work and exposes the darkest secrets. Oh my God, I wonder who's in it. All right, let's take a look. I hope you have a few ladies that I'm thinking of. Like Amy. I would think Amy would be in it. I bet you got Amy in it. Apollo gotta be in it. Oh, this is going to be cool. All right, here we go. New doco by TPOM, Third Phase of Moon.
The government of the United States, since the 1940s, has classified reality. That's where we are, in classified reality. The truth is classified.
This is probably the most dangerous field to be in because they really don't want humanity to know the kind of information that we put out there.
And we have breaking news now, a Pentagon review of decades of government investigations into UFO sightings.
It's a war for truth. It's a war for disclosure. The American public, they really want to know. They're tired of being lied to.
We've had a heck of a lot of pushback about this hearing. We've had members of Congress who fought us. We've had members of the intelligence community and also the Pentagon.
There were some attempts on my life.
I've had many death threats.
We're following you. We know where you are.
Let's face it, disclosure's a dangerous game.
There is way more to this picture than we can imagine.
These extraterrestrial biological entities manipulated DNA in already evolving primates to create Homo sapien.
The biggest threat to them is our sovereignty.
Operation Majestic 12 is created.
This all needs to come out. The truth needs to come out.
I think humans need to get ready.
Extraterrestrials are here. They have been based beneath the basins of the oceans and seas of planet Earth for thousands, millions of years.
We're dealing with gatekeepers and a total suppression of information and knowledge.
The leaders, everyone, telling all humans the truth.
These people are idiots. I mean, these people who think they are in charge.
I'm going to pick up what I personally think is the single most important whistleblower leak.
Absolutely it is.
At some point, our government is no longer going to have control over this.
Nope. That's freaking awesome. And the truth. Oh, I love that, guys. That's awesome. I'm glad you made that. Cool. And Linda Moulton Howe has and Laura Eisenhower. I mean, this is good. This is really good. I'm glad to see that you did something like that. Very, very smart. They are in the oceans, probably, because it makes sense, right? But doesn't the moon make sense? Doesn't Antarctica make sense? Doesn't underground make sense? You know, so they're everywhere. I think they're everywhere. I think they're everywhere and more. Dimensional. It's got to be true. Why? Why am I the only one who wouldn't believe that, you know? Because I haven't seen the evidence. I know. This movie looks good. Very excited. I think, here, let me show you the where you can get it. Pull this up for you guys. And you can get this movie right here. There it is. Nexus to disclosure. The truth is classified. Amazon, Apple, and I think that's it, right? Let me click on it and see what happens. All right, let me show you. It brought up another thing for me, so I have to switch over to that. Here it is. There it is. This is the Amazon ad. Pretty cool. 1 hour, 41 minutes. It's only $5.99 to rent it. $10, dude. That's a nice keeper for only $10. Very good. Instead of 20, $10 is smart. Why would you rent it when you can own it for just a few bucks more? It's a keeper. Good job. All right. Oh, he's in it too? These guys are in it? Oh my God, all of these guys are in this movie. Hold on. Who's in this? Hold on a second. Details, right? Cast. Oh, okay, so wait. Linda Moulton Howe, Yvonne Smith, Laura Eisenhower. Apollo Asterio Studio. I don't know what that means. Blake and Brent, producers, directed by Apollo. Okay. Let me see something here. Documentary. We'll give it the thumbs up. Great. You better. Special interest. Okay. I'm excited. But I got to get going. That was a great evening. Thank you, everybody. Hey, Third Face, thanks for hanging out. Philip Swain, thank you for hanging your head here. Thank you. Paris Diamonds, hanging out. Jason Semero, how do you do? And nice to see you. I'll see you next time. Jeanette, thank you very much. Oh, you're still going through that. God. Let's say a prayer for Jeanette, but the allergy and got bit by something. My God, lady. You poor thing. All right. We'll be back tomorrow. Oh, wait. Yeah. Now, Friday, we're not here. It's off. We're off Fridays. So there'll be the other show from RSA at 7. But tomorrow we'll be here at 7 or 8. I don't know. Probably 7. I had no choice. I had to go later today. Anyway, thank you very much. It was fun. I appreciate everybody's hanging out. Like, share, subscribe. Don't forget to share and comment and like it. And appreciate the support. Thank you, moderators and super chatters. Appreciate you guys giving it up for Goof. It's truthology for ufology. We do it for them. For you. For you. All right. And if you ain't looking up, you ain't looking out for ufology. Okay. All right. Alien blessed.